breaking with separation. So boiler is also designed like that.
So this complete, this is the entire complex power consumption is 48.8 kilowatt per ton of steel.
Per ton of cake.
It's very good, sir. And my one question is from Mr. Amin. How does he see the future of actually bioplastic from sugar industry?
The future of bioplastic, on the one hand, is pretty good. But part of the problem is that not all bioplastics are recyclable, and that is an issue. So I think when that puzzle is solved, I think one of the amazing challenges that I didn't sort of put in my presentation was for sugar companies, they're really willing to go outside the comfort zone, is recycling plastics. According to McKinsey, there's about 460 billion tons of plastics, that will have to be sorted, globally. And I think if you can, exploit that, so I seriously consider, if you are a sugar company owner, explore that. It's going to be made.
Dr. Raju Dali from BSN. Mr. Sanjay, excellent presentation. South America, in Colombia, there are certain distilleries, they are the location.
Not really, but evaporation. I have shown one factory, Swaraj, which is using MBR and recycling the power. Yeah. I think you are talking about once cogeneration is not there. Yeah. So once cogeneration is not there, at this moment, most of the sugar factories are selling their bagasse practically to paper mills. But this is not. We are not able to use or exploit that our byproduct fully. So, as we are talking that bioplastic can be in Indian conditions a very viable solution. 2G I still feel may take 2-3 years to bring down the capex and opex and really make it commercial, happen it commercial. But yes, 2G will be the future and probably not very far. But at this moment, meantime technology gets cheaper and all that, we should be thinking of bioplastic, making dietary fiber out of it. And there is one or two more technological development. I think detergent also being invented in our institute here itself. That it can work as a detergent out of this. So these technologies can be useful and cost effective in our circumstances, in our factories, in our conditions.
Especially when somebody wanted to put up a new sugar mill, and he is actually investing on different equipments and sections. Should we go actually for co-generation equipments are limited only to a captive conductor. Because if we say actually today what is somebody wants to put up a new plant, how he should go?
Yeah, you are right. This is a time when we are at cusp of it. There is a big dilemma. If he gets a co-generation agreement, which is we call it in India power purchase agreement, once it is done, he feels that he is safe and he can put up a co-generation plant. But I know few factories where this PPA is there for say 5 rupees. I don't remember the price exactly. Say for 5 rupees 25 paisa. And government is saying either we will buy your power from reverse auction, which is 3 rupees something, or we won't buy this. We won't honor this PPA. So if that is a situation going to come in future, at 4,000 rupees per ton of bagasse, the power should be at least 12 rupees. Otherwise, it is better to sell bagasse than making power. So you will put a big capex, cogeneration,
जगह कम है ना तो और सही है
balance of plant, better to have some other use.
देखिए
Then he has to have bioplastic or something, some ancillary industry.
Sanjay,
Yes, sir.
two things. One to Arvind.
I'm so sorry to interrupt actually, the time is very limited and we can start the session. Question and answer.
Excuse me, let me ask the question.
Yeah, sure.
क्लियरिटी देख
Last one.
Arvind, one question is, what do you feel, sitting in the London and our idea about ethanol program? How do you see the ethanol blending program going?
अरे अपने पिक्सल बड़ा उधर
Recently, we
सही है
G20 we had
120 पर क्लियर
discussion
है
of biofuel and all that. Is it a slogan or is it really happening on the ground?
I think it's argument on ethanol obviously I haven't picked up in my similar. But let
मेरी
me
औलाद बैठी
very be frank, as a journalist. Um,
अब
Indian
लाइट सही आ
biofuels
रही है अब
policy was
देखिए
very similar to based on the
अब
renewable
सुनो
bio policy in Brazil by President Temer, 1 or 2 years earlier than the Indian biofuel policy program. And so by this time, biofuels production in
लेंथ कराओ
Brazil, what it was about 9-10 years ago, it's not. And honestly, if you scratch the surface, and I'm sure I won't be popular, I won't be invited here again, the renewable bio policy in Brazil was basically instigated largely because the Brazilian sugar production was so high, they were acquiring 30% of the traded sugar. It was so volatile. And because at that time, volatility and low sugar price, it made it easier for politicians to say, right, we're going to biofuels production. And therefore agree to Paris Climate Agreement. Now, if you look at the Indian policy, the reason why we got into biofuels, and I'm sure Sanjay won't agree with me, was largely because Indian surplus production was dumped in the global sugar market, and India was taken to WTO. The whole idea of diverting sugar
पॉसिबल पार्ट 1 डाउनलोड
came into
आवाज 7 का पार्ट 1
so maybe production of sugar, and then came
टॉयलेट वगैरह
WTO. So Indian policymakers are smart. They always use these smoke and mirrors like any policymakers to say, it's to do with Paris Climate Agreement. But really, it is to avoid dumping sugar in the market, avoiding being taken to the World Trade Organization complaint panel, and I think these are the sort of issues. So when you look at the real rationale behind the policy, then you understand that the longevity of the program is an issue. And I think that one of the things that I mentioned last time, availability of feedstock. I think,
फ्रेंड मिलते हैं अब लंच में थोड़ी देर में लंच होने वाला है और एक कॉन्फ्रेंस ख़त्म होने वाली है और लंच टाइम होने वाला है तो मिलते हैं हम लंच में कल भी एक प्रोग्राम है जिसमें हम
Both of you are talked about
ज्वाइन
like
करेंगे उस प्रोग्राम में
Chinatown and all. But what I've seen is when extension of
मेरे साथी
somebody else how to use the gas power.